Hi guys, we're going to be continuing with this series of talking about the declare play in no-trump contracts. So, in the previous two episodes, we went through the first few slides, including top cards, entries, and everything related to entries, basically. So this time we're going to be continuing on, and the topic of focus of this presentation will be the adjacent high cards, and basically what these are, they, they're basically we have a lot of cards that are like in a row. For example, king, queen, jack. For example, king, queen, jack. These are all touching cards, right? King, could because there's no like gaps in between them, and they're basically like missing a top card. So for in this example, king, queen, jack, they're missing the ace. We don't have the ace here, so this would not. If we had the ace, that would be considered top cards, but we don't. And one important distinction is, in order to win any tricks with these adjacent high cards, we have to lose a trick before we can actually win our tricks, which is a very big limitation. But the good news is that if can afford to lose a trick, we'll always be able to get it. So, the way that this thing kind of works is that we want to like knock out the high card. So, for example, on the first one, the opponents will have an ace somewhere. Let's just say the left-hand opponent has it. If you would like, you can get a deck of cards and try with the right-hand opponent. I will just tell you right now, it makes no difference who has the ace. So, well, we're going to have to like try to like dislodge the ace, because after the ace is gone, like for example, let's say the ace has been played somehow, then our king, queen, and jack will all be high, and our king, queen, jack will all be high. So, so we begin to try to dislodge the ace by playing the king first. So when we play the king and then we play a low, our left-hand opponent, let's say he has a lot of small cards. He has a dilemma. So we'll take it two scenarios. So scenario one, he plays the ace. If he plays the ace, then this ace is now gone, and now our queen and jack, they'll both be high cards, since we can see the king and the ace have both been played. So there's nothing higher than them. So that's scenario one, and that gives us two tricks. So option one is two tricks. And scenario two, what if he doesn't play ace, right? He can play low and hopefully try to like win like another card, for example. So let's say he plays low. Well, then in this case, we will continue on with our plan. We're gonna just continue with the queen and then low, and he's facing the same problem, right? If he plays the ace, our jack will be another trick, and so our king was trick number one, and then here if he plays low, again we'll have trick number two, and that'll be two tricks, which is the same as scenario one. So obviously you can't allow but if you play the ace here, our jack will be a winner, and our jack will be our second trick. So no matter what, we will always get two tricks, no matter what the defenders do. Whether they play the ace or not. And something that's pretty noteworthy is that if I play the king and he plays low, and I play the queen and he plays low again, this time I don't want to play like a jack, because there's no point. If I had 10, then there's another winner I can set up by knocking out the ace. But if I just have the jack, let's say I do accomplish our goal. Okay, wow, the ace is knocked out. However, I have no other cards left. Like, why? After we play the king and queen, we already have two tricks, and we've already explained that if the declarers get the ace, then defenders get the ace. Sorry, then we'll get two tricks. There's no point. We're not gonna get a third trick. No matter how we play. So there's nothing for you to benefit if you knock out the ace. It's like, so what? So it's very important to notice that this is three tricks, but for example, one of these will be won by the defender. So that'll be 3 minus 1 equals 2 tricks. That's how you can sort of think of it. These things. And after we win our 2 tricks, we don't have to play this 2 anymore. Okay. Next example, it's I'm just gonna skip it. This is like these next two examples are basically a copy paste of our top cards, right? So like if you look at these examples, these examples look awfully familiar to the other examples that we have over here because they're basically trying to say the same thing. We basically have the exact same technique. We always want to lead from the shortest side first. So for example, since this hand has 3 cards and this hand has 4 cards, we want to lead from this hand first. We want to play the honors from this hand first. We can start with a small, but we just have to play the king. And for this hand again, it seems like we have 4 minus 3 equals 1, but our honors are all going to crash, so we are only going to really have one trick in the end because one of them will be won by the opponent's ace, and we'll actually only win one trick. And for this last example, this is just to show that like you don't have to have like you don't have to have only the ace out. We can have the ace and king out. In this example, we'd have to lose. By the same logic, we'd have to lose to the ace and king. And we have 5 cards, right? Queen, jack, 10, 9, 8. And we have to lose to ace and king. So we have 5 cards. Minus 2 of them will be taken. So we only have 3 tricks. And this is still an example of Jason high cards. An additional example that I wanted to add would be, for example, ace, queen, jack, 10, opposite singles and small, for example. This will still be considered adjacent high cards. Because again, because like ignoring the ace and just looking at the queen, jack, 10, we're only missing one card, the king here, right? So we can take the ace. This ace would be considered a top trick. So this is one top trick. We have one of those. Sorry, let me do it in better color. We have one top trick over here. And over here, we have 3 cards over here, right? We have 3 cards, but we have 1 card outside, which is the king, which we must lose a trick to. So therefore, only 2 of our cards will end up scoring. So in the end, it's going to be our 1 top trick plus our 2 scoring cards from our adjacent high cards. And this is going to be equal to 3 total tricks. So in this example, we will have 3 total tricks. And that's all I'm going to cover in this video. So it's still very, again, same things apply as top cards. Entries are still going to be very important, and in fact even more important with the adjacent high cards. But this is, yeah. And you won't, and like something else to mention, I guess, would be, let's say I have queen jack, opposites too small. This is not adjacent high cards, because we don't consider this adjacent high cards because if we count the tricks, we have 2 cards, but then there's an ace and a king outside, so then we have to give those 2 tricks back, right? Defense are just gonna win. So two of these cards will be spent knocking out the ace and the king. So then we're going to end up with 0 tricks. And since there's 0 tricks, of course, we could say this is 0 adjacent high cards, but that's pretty futile. And we're just gonna say that this does not count as an adjacent high cards because you end up with 0 tricks. So I mean, yeah, and as you get like better, you won't have to like do this 3 minus 1. You'll just instantly recognize, oh, okay, let's see, king, queen, jack, that's just 2 tricks. Yeah, I got that. And yeah, that's all I got for this part. Stay tuned for part 4.